What is up, everyone? It is the final streaming day of the week and of the month. I hope that you're all in good spirits because today we're going to have a nice, chill show. We've got a couple of news stories, including a DLC announcement as well as a game delay. But outside of that, we're pretty much set and ready for the month of May. So we will reminisce about all the fun stuff that we did this month. We'll talk about the upcoming near future and probably do a lot of Q&A before we jump into Clair Obscure Expedition 33. So sit back and relax. It's time for a month-ending fun episode of the Level 1 Podcast.
Get ready for some meaningful content because the king is back, the king of the live stream, the king is back. Woo!
Hello. What is going on, everyone? Today is Wednesday, the 30th of April, 2025. I'm DSP. This is the Level 1 Podcast, and it has been a fun month, has it not? I was just kind of sitting back here and reminiscing about everything going on, all right? And basically, I was looking at, all the games that we played and the good variety that we did this month. Ups and downs for sure, but a pretty good month, between balancing out ongoing playthroughs like Atom Fall and starting up surprise playthroughs like Oblivion Remastered. The shocking and good release of Blueprints, which I don't think anyone expected to actually be good, but it ended up being really, really good. Okay. And all kinds of other fun stuff, ongoing gameplay of games like Call of Duty, the return of Minecraft, which I don't think anyone actually even expected. It has been a pretty awesome month, even though on paper, if you actually look at the releases for this month, like here's what we were looking at for this month. Seriously, this is what was in my release dates: South of Midnight, Fatal Fury City of the Wolves, and Clair Obscure Expedition 33. That's all I had in my game release schedule for April. So again, on paper, the month looked terrible, but because of some of the things that we decided to do and because of some like shocking releases, it actually ended up being a pretty darn good month. And so I just want to say thank you to everyone who here in April. It started with a bang with my big birthday marathon and just continued on in a great streak of fun games, streams, and support. And I really appreciate that. I mean, let's be honest, the cherry on the icing here was becoming a partner on Kick, being part of the KCIP program, meaning that every single day when I'm streaming on Kick, I actually get paid to stream. Yeah. And, I know some people would say, well, how much is it? It greatly varies. It depends on how many people are there. It depends on how long I'm streaming. It depends on like 5 factors, I think. But I don't really control it. All I do is stream. And so, hey, even making a few extra bucks an hour streaming is awesome. So it's been amazing. It really has been. And I've really enjoyed myself this month. The way I see it is thus: if we're having a month where almost nothing was really coming out that was of high profile, right? And it was a great month, right? Between all the streams, the gameplay, everything we did, it was still a great month. Can you imagine what's going to happen with some of these months coming up later this year where we actually have big releases, hype moments, and awesome stuff planned, right? Can you imagine how awesome it's going to be if GTA 6 actually releases this year? How crazy that'll be? That's got to be one of the most hype events in gaming history. And I can just imagine we're going to have people coming back who haven't watched me in years to come watch my playthrough of that, So this is going to be a pretty exciting year, particularly for me and for gaming in general. And I'm excited for the future. I really am. So I just want to say thank you. April was a great month from start to finish. Great fun gameplay, awesome chill streams. Again, bringing back so many awesome things that we were doing. Um, over the course of the month, like Minecraft, Lego streams, etc., but also starting up new projects, new exciting things, right? It was really, really cool. Um, oh, by the way, someone thinks you're making $20 an hour on Kick. They would be grossly, ridiculously over exaggerating. Number one, you got to understand that I am in the Kick Partner program, but I'm a co streamer. So what that means is I make half as much as anyone who is a full-time Kick streamer only. Okay? If you exclusively stream on Kick, you can make a lot more, but I'm co-streaming. So therefore you only make that 50%. And in addition to that, like I said, it varies greatly depending on your viewership, what you're streaming and other things. Like I don't know their formula because they don't actually make it public, but I can tell you some streams that I've been streaming, I made like almost nothing per hour. And then other streams, I actually made a good amount per hour. And then sometimes it's in the middle and it doesn't seem to have any consistency. Like there's no way you can predict what you're going to make, but anything extra is good. Like that is a huge asset to me. Like I said, on a month like this month where I was just kind of treading water and doing random games here and there, can you imagine when I get to a month when there will be big high profile releases and people will be coming to check out, new hardware launches and new game releases. And like I said, GTA 6, holy crap, that's going to be so epic. I can't wait. So thank you guys, really. Yes, it is actually my final streaming day of the month because today's the last day of the month, but it's also my final streaming day of this consecutive week because it's a very short week for me. I actually have 2 days off coming up because of scheduling, with appointments and stuff. I had to have these next 2 days off. But when I come back next week on Saturday, all right, which isn't really next week, but it's my next streaming week, it's 7 straight days of streams. That's going to be crazy. We're going to make tons of progress in the games I'm playing. We're going to have time to actually do other things that we haven't done in a while. So we're starting off with Call of Duty, which I haven't played in a couple of weeks. We're definitely going to put that in the rotation. We may have extra time for more streams of games like Blueprints, or maybe we could try a different new indie game, something like that. We're definitely going to have time for a couple streams of Minecraft. So it's going to be a great week, and I'm very excited for it. I hope that you guys are too. Of course, all of this is capitalized and emphasized and hyped up by the marathon. Okay? So FYI, we are there. We have hit the milestone where now when we get to the 50 goals of support hit, it is time for the return of a fun marathon, which is viewers' choice per your request. You said, we want viewers' choice. And I said, ask and you shall receive. So right now, you guys are nominating games for viewers' choice, all right? And you might say, well, what games have been nominated so far? A wide variety of games have been nominated. Let's just take a quick look at some of them. Hold on one second because I don't know if this is going to be on. Okay, I'm on a weird spot because I moved my camera for Claire Obscure, but I'll be on this side for some reason while we do this. So FYI, here's just some of the games that have been nominated. Lost Records Tape 2. Okay, then. Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. Seems a lot of people want to see me try this game. What? This is an idiot. This isn't even a game, so get out of here. Counter-Strike 2. I didn't even, people have mentioned that to me. That Counter-Strike 2 is out. And I didn't even know. I was like, what? Counter-Strike 2? So apparently that's one there. Chess again, the return of chess. I don't know what cell damage is. Finish some of the Five Nights at Freddy's games. Paper Mario and the Thousand Year Door remake. That was one that actually was nominated last time for Viewer's Choice, but didn't make it. Dave the Diver, Mountain Blade Warband Bannerlord. Sex with Hitler. How about a ban from YouTube? Here we go. Crusader Kings. Fear and Hunger 1 or 2. Sadly, I can't play Fear and Hunger because apparently it has adult content, but I'll leave it on there anyway. American Truck Simulator. Someone had mentioned that the other day. And then as we scroll down, you're going to see lots of different ones, okay? With various levels of thumbs up. Oh, here's another one. Paper Mario and the Thousand Year Door remake. So I'm going to have to add that with the other one. So the way it works is you nominate a game, and then people can also nominate the game in a separate post, or they can thumb up your nomination. And the games that are most nominated are going to make it into a final poll, which you guys are going to vote on, okay? And that poll will determine what games actually make it into the marathon. And the way it works is typically during one of these marathons, I play around 4 games. Um, and it's fun because it's a good variety and a lot. And sometimes if I like a game enough, we end up turning it into a full playthrough on the channel. So you can see it keeps going. It's like endless amounts of nominations. So here's the deal. If you want to see your game or your nomination make it to the marathon, I strongly advise not only posting it up, but trying to rally people to your cause. You know, the more people who like your nomination, that's gonna get it chances increased that we're gonna play it during the marathon. Okay. You never know how the poll's gonna go because there's gonna be a final poll as well. But the more nominations, the better. So get to it if you haven't yet. Nominate games over there. Okay. And that will be running until the weekend, probably Saturday-ish, maybe Sunday. And then I will say, okay, enough nominations. Time to tally up, the nominations and all of that. And then we'll do a poll and you guys will vote for a day or two. And the most, voted for games will be the ones that we play during the marathon. Now you might say, that's great. When's the marathon? I don't know. The marathon timing is dependent on you. It depends on when we hit 50 goals of support, but it also depends on scheduling. For example, I said I'm here for 7 days straight. So that's Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Okay. Typically, marathons do much better when I do them on weekends. Why? Because a lot of people have either school or work off on weekends. They have more time to plan for it ahead of time, stuff like that. In this case, because of the timing, okay, unless we get an incredible amount of support. All right. So we're talking, I would have to hit 9 more goals between now and like Sunday, right? If we get 9 more goals between now and Sunday, then yeah, we could do the marathon on Sunday. And that's like, for me, my opinion is that would be perfect timing. Sunday would be the perfect day because more people would be here, food, booze, variety of games. It would be a great, positive, festive vibe to start the month of May. But I don't think we're going to hit 9 goals between now and Sunday. I mean, we would have to have a massive rallying. And the thing is, this week actually has been on the slower side. For example, this week, we have less than 30 gifted subs over on Kick, which is insanely slow for me. Usually I have way more than that. So because of that, I don't see that real momentum happening. All right. So realistically, I'm thinking that I probably will be hitting the goal maybe around the middle of next week. I mean, that's if you just say, let's say I hit every goal, one a stream. There'll be 2 today, 2 Saturday, 2 Sunday, 2 Monday. We'd probably hit it around Tuesday. But that's assuming we hit a goal every single stream, which doesn't happen. Then again, sometimes we hit multiple goals a stream, and that's not predictable. Like, you just don't know, right? So, all that being said, let's see what happens. It's this simple. The more you support, the more goals hit, the sooner the marathon happens. I would love to do it on the weekend, but it would take probably a miracle for that to happen. You'd probably have to have one or several very generous individuals to come by and support, whether it's Kick, YouTube, or a tip or whatever. We'd have to have a giant amount of support. And I don't think that's going to happen, but we'll see what happens. Never say never, because every time that I say something like that, all of a sudden people shock me. And quite frankly, this whole last 8-9 months has been amazing. It's life-changing. Now I have a much better setup. We have flexibility to do whatever we need to do on any stream, whether it's a PC game, a console game, no matter how much it costs, what the availability is. I've been able to spend some more time with my wife, which has been great. I'm looking forward to the next couple of days where I get to spend time with her, which I don't normally get to do. And it's been amazing. So I never would have told you that this would have happened in the last 9 months. I never would have guessed. Okay. And it has. So like I said, never say never. Let's see what happens over the next several days. But this would be a good time to get started. For example, last night on the Blueprint stream, support was incredibly slow. But I think that's a symptom of, number one, Blueprints now being a night stream when normally it was a day stream. And number two, the fact of the kind of game that it is. You'll every once in a while get someone who really likes that kind of game coming by, but it's not going to be consistent, right? So let's get back on track today. You guys have really liked Expedition 33. Me too. I love Expedition 33. I think it's an outstanding, original, fun game. I can't wait to play it today. All right. So let's get it going. Let's stick around after this podcast to enjoy the game. And also, let's get some support rolling if we can. Let's see if we can hit some of these goals and get to this marathon, right? Cheers. Awesome. So, also, I should bring this up because today is my final streaming day of the week. I'll be gone for the next couple of days. When I come back, we'll be a couple days in or a few days into May. So that means when I come back on Saturday, my backdrop will be refreshed. We will have new things behind me. So, for example, there won't be a Pac-Man sign. There won't be a Metroid Lego. There won't be a Minecraft Lego. And these guys from McDonald's will be gone. Okay. Instead, there will be new stuff behind me to celebrate the new month. Also, I think I'm going to swap out some of the panels. I'll probably swap out the blue for the black again for the month. For variety's sake. Okay. So it will be a refreshed setup for the month of May. It'll look a little different. What I'm planning to do is tonight finish the Lego build of the piranha plant. And I want to put the piranha plant in the background for May. I think that would be cool. So excellent. I'm excited for the new fresh month starting on Saturday. Okay. All right. A couple shout outs to do. We got Tag, 7 months as a member here on the channel, says, hey, DSP, Expedition 33 is game of the year. A lot of people are saying as such. So far, I'm really enjoying the game. You know, I'm not going to be hasty and start saying stuff like that, but at the very same time, I'm really enjoying the game, and every single time that I have played it, I've actually liked it a little more. Like, it's growing on me the more I play it. It really is reminding me strong vibes of like Final Fantasy X, Final Fantasy 13, but also Lost Odyssey. And those are good comparisons I'm making, you know? I mean, yeah, there's some things bad about those games too, but very good, you know, very, very good vibes of the game. I love the visuals. I love the story. It's completely unique, nothing cliche. The gameplay elements, which is turn-based with all these different things per character, but then also you got the dodging, the parrying mechanics. It's really neat. And the more I play, the more I'm enjoying myself. So yeah, I'm there with you, Tag. We'll see what happens by the end of this year. But this one right now is a front runner. And you know, I'm gonna say this too. As skeptical as I was when I first heard it and when I first started playing it, I'm going to argue that Blueprints is also insanely good. The more I play it, the more I like it. Now, when we're doing these runs in Blueprints, I'm like getting so much progress and discovering so much more in the story and in the gameplay elements. I'm craving playing more, like every single time I play it. Even last night, okay? We did have good attendance last night for Blueprints, but we had nearly no support. I'm still craving it. Like, I want to play it more. I keep uncovering more interesting things every single time I play it, and I want to play it again right now, but I gotta wait. I gotta wait until like early next week to play it on a nice stream. I'm like, oh, it's killing me to have to wait to play a game that I really like, you know? But it's all good. It's all good. I'm glad you're enjoying it, Tag. Okay. I have received a $10 tip. I just received a $10 tip, nothing else. There's no name attached to it, no message. I don't know who this is, FYI. If you tip me and you would like to have a name shouted out or you would like to have a message, you must put that in the actual body of the tip. I only see an email address when you guys send me a tip. That's it. So I don't know who this is from. I'm not going to shout out an email address. So I'm just going to say, anonymous $10 tipper who started tipping today, thank you for the support. This is great because we want to build momentum. You know, last night we didn't hit a goal. We definitely want to start hitting goals every stream now so we can do the marathon ASAP. So thank you for that. Okay. Beaver Bother to the $1.50. He says, I don't understand. If people receive memberships, what make them fake? All right. He's bringing this up because once again, this is 2 days in a row. Someone is using the VPN exploit on YouTube to mass purchase memberships. If you don't know what this is something that's been going on YouTube for something like 4 years now, and YouTube never has fixed it. They got upset because they found out that people were buying YouTube premium subscriptions this way. but they haven't fixed the problem. Here's what it is. YouTube, unlike other sites, like other websites don't do this at all, but YouTube has this bizarre pricing structure. They look at the country you live in based on your IP address when you log into YouTube, and then they price things how they feel as appropriate for your country. So, for example, if you live in Argentina right now, your dollar is worth like nothing. Seriously, the Argentinian dollar has like terrible value, okay? But the people who live in Argentina don't make a lot of money. It's not like, oh, our dollar's worth nothing, so when we get paid $1 million a paycheck. So basically, the Argentinian economy and people are not doing very well, all right? Because of this, YouTube prices things differently for people in Argentina. So, for example, if someone in Argentina were to buy a membership to a YouTuber, it would only cost a few pennies. Seriously. As opposed to anyone else who was going to buy it, they'd have to pay like $5. But for Argentinians, it's like 2 pennies. Okay? So you might say, well, that's good because if you live in Argentina, now you can actually afford stuff, right? The problem is people have been massively abusing this for years. What they do is they use a VPN. They pretend like they're from another country. They log in as if they're from the other country with this new account, and then they'll dump massive amounts of memberships onto the viewers of someone. And the reason that this is a problem is simple. YouTube only allows 1 membership per person. Okay? On Kick, this isn't a problem. Do you want to know why? Because on Kick, unlimited memberships per person, or excuse me, unlimited subs per person. There's people on Kick who right now have 3 months of subs built up. Kick is crazy like that. They'll just let you keep having ongoing subscriptions and it keeps stacking. But on YouTube, you can only have 1 at a time. Now, if you are a ginormous content creator on YouTube and you get tens of thousands of viewers a day, it's probably not a big deal. But if you're a mid to small time YouTuber, if people are coming to your channel and just dumping and dumping and dumping nearly valueless memberships on your channel, what ends up happening is now you can't get valid memberships. If someone, let's say someone dumps 1,000 fake memberships on a channel and the channel only gets a few viewers a day, like 10, 20 viewers a day. Well, now let's say someone actually wanted to support your channel and tries to get you a gifted membership. There's no one to give it to. They've divvied out all of them and it just sits there and never gets assigned. And therefore it never goes through and the person actually gets refunded. This has happened to me a couple of times over the years where someone gave so many fake memberships out that my channel had something like 3,000 paid memberships, out of which I only got actually paid for like 400. So there was like 2,600 fake memberships that I got paid like $5 for overall amongst all of them. Okay? And that just sucks. It does. It hurts a channel. But luckily for me, I no longer have all my eggs in one basket because I'm streaming on YouTube and on Kick. If someone does happen to screw over my YouTube side there with the memberships, people on Kick supporting kind of make up for it. It's not that big of a deal. But at one point a couple of years ago, it actually did. I took a big financial hit because of it. People were gifting so many fake memberships that, I wasn't having anyone buy real ones. That's the other thing. If everyone has a gifted membership, no one's ever going to buy a real one. And each one should have been a few bucks. So now you get nothing, right? It's all gone. So anyway, you may have noticed this morning, this idiot came by and gifted a bunch of them. I banned them. They did it yesterday. I banned them. There's nothing you can really do because YouTube has to fix it. This is not anything that can be fixed by a streamer. It has to be fixed by YouTube. And we all know YouTube is one of the most lazy, slow-moving, bad timing to react to anything businesses ever created. You can literally step-by-step explain to them how things are being exploited, and they just ignore it. I actually did 2 years ago. I was step-by-step explaining this to YouTube customer support. They don't care. They were just like, oh, well, like, don't you understand that you could put mid to small-time YouTubers like out of business? They can't get legit memberships. Well, oh, well, they don't care. We'll submit this to our team for review and consideration. That's all they say. And then nothing ever changes. They don't give a shit. So it's not a big deal, quite frankly. the most annoying part about it is that the channel gets spammed with pop-ups that really aren't beneficial. You don't need to see the 50 people got valueless memberships, right? It's not like you're celebrating because someone just massively supported the stream. It didn't happen. You know, you made a few, like, no exaggeration, for the 50 gifted subs when they dropped that, that's like $1. So, woohoo. Now, if you get one of those gifted memberships, good for you. You still got it. You still get the benefits of it, but it doesn't benefit me as a streamer. You see? So I hope that explains it. Every once in a while, someone asks the question again, and I explain the situation. I know it sucks because some people don't know about it. And then when they see it happen, they're getting excited, like, oh my God, look at all this support Bill just got. I'm like, nope, none of it counts. It's just nonsense. It's just stupidity. These people, you know, abusing this. So anyway. All right. Well, that's that. It's not a big deal. If it happens again on the stream, I'll just take care of it quick. It's not the end of the world. It's just an annoyance at this point. You know, at one point it was freaking me out years ago, but not really, don't really care anymore. Been there, done that 5,000 times. Okay. So thank you for the first couple of tips there. Let's get some more support going. Who's going to be the first super chatter of the day? Who's going to be the first member or gifted member of the day? And over on Kick, I'm looking at all of you. Who is going to gift the first sub of the day? Because we need some subs over on Kick. We really do. It's been a slow week. Like I said, we have less than 30 gifted subs on Kick, and that's crazy. Usually on Kick, we get tons, and there's been almost none, you know, this week. So let's get some subs over on Kick and get that momentum going. Okay? All right. Okay. All right. Well, let us begin, shall we? Let's talk a little bit about yesterday, how stuff went on the streams, because it went pretty good, I would say. And then we got a couple very quick news stories to cover today. And then we're just going to do some open, like, back and forth Q&A and go from there. I don't really have a ton going on today, so we'll see what you guys want to talk about for the podcast before we jump back into Expedition 33. So yesterday's streams, Oblivion Remastered. This is the third time I played it. Every single time I've played Oblivion Remastered, the game makers, who are they called, Virtuous or Virtuose, they patch the game and make it worse. I don't know why they should just stop touching the game. Because I'm not kidding. Every single time there's an update and the update fucks the game up worse. So last time, the update completely broke DLSS, meaning there was no, like, frame generation. So you couldn't really get the frame rate you wanted, and the game was running choppy as shit. Okay? This time around, the DLSS worked, but VSync was broken and would not enable in the game. Even when you turned on VSync, the VSync was still off. So it was completely screen tearing crazy, both on my TV and on my PC monitor, and people on Stream World saying, yeah, it was, you know, tearing for them too. So then, this is so dumb. Then I had to find a way to work around. I had to go into the NVIDIA app and enable VSync manually in the NVIDIA app, and then it worked in the game, and we played for the rest of the stream with no graphical issues. I just don't get it. Like, if you're a game developer, how do you make mistakes like that? Like, no exaggeration, how would you make a mistake that, oh, we patched the game and actually broke all these features that everyone needs to play the game? Like, I don't get it. But at the same time, you know, basically, I see the distinct difference now between, say, console gaming and PC gaming. When you buy a game on console, are there updates? Yeah, there are, but they're usually not that frequent, right? Like, maybe every once in a while they'll patch the game. When they issue an update, it has to go through, like, that arduous process of being approved by the digital marketplaces before they'll even make that patch available or whatever, right? So basically, it's not that big of a deal on console, but on PC, they're kind of free to just update whenever they want. So sometimes they push out these kind of ridiculous updates that you don't need, that they don't test, and then it breaks a bunch of stuff. This game should not be having graphical issues every time I play it. I should set it up once, and now moving forward, whenever I boot the game, I should be able to just play it with the same settings, but it's not even possible. I boot it up, this was turned off, this is not working, this is reverted. What the hell is going on? But outside of the graphical stuff, We had a great time with Oblivion yesterday. Continued on with the plot further. We had to get a Daedric artifact to give to Martin so he could continue his research. So we went and did the Azura Star quest line. Then we went and defended Bruma from an Oblivion gate that opened up and more stuff like that, right? So it ended up being a pretty good progress stream. I had fun. People are still showing up, engaging, and supporting with the Oblivion streams. So that's a great thing. Thanks for that. I hope you'll keep showing up for Oblivion over the course of the next week. I'll keep it in the schedule for now since it's working, right? Okay. Now, as for Blueprints, okay? To be honest, it's one of my favorite games in the rotation right now. I'm craving playing it. We last night, we had one of the most advanced streams of it. We found an entire new area under the mansion, a whole bottom floor under the mansion where there's all this stuff going on, right? We've got this secrets about what's actually going on in the mansion. We found this whole rotating room that leads to new areas. We ended up unlocking permanently new blueprints and new rooms. That was really cool. And we found out essentially we need the basement key. Once we get the basement key, we'll be able to unlock the other half of the underground area and fully explore it and get whatever items or whatever is down there. Okay. We found out about combining items in the workshop. And that's how we got the super powered sledgehammer that let me break through walls and find these secrets. But also we got this hyper powered like laser gun that allowed us to light torches. And we lit 2 torches in a dark area also outside the mansion. And we found another secret blueprint. So we've been doing really good. Like I would argue again, last night, Blueprints was an amazing stream. By the end of the stream, just listen to this. We had a run where we never had to use diamonds, so I stockpiled like 13, 14 diamonds. Also during this run, by the end of the run, I had something like 30, 40 coins. Then we found the freezer, and we were able to freeze the assets and end the run. So when we continue next time, I start up with all of those items. So right off the bat, I'm going to be able to buy anything I want. I'm actually debating in the beginning, you get to pick that room outside the mansion. I might pick one of the vendor rooms and just buy all the shit out of the vendor. I don't even know what the vendor has. Maybe it has really rare good stuff. So pretty awesome. And I'm excited for it next time we play. But the problem is people are not supporting Blueprints. Last night during that stream, we had maybe 2 people who did super chats, like 1 tip. By the end of the night, basically I made $40. And I'm like, damn, that's, obviously a far, far cry from hitting our goals. Now, the good news is Blueprints has done well up to now, and I love the game. It's not a game that I want to drop. It's not. I actually like it so much that I want to continue playing it, and I will this week. But I do hope that people will be aware, all right, and hopefully people will come by and start hanging out and show up and support that stream. If not, let's say you're someone who watches Blueprints on demand after the fact, please consider supporting it in another way. A super thanks on the video helps a lot and lets me know you're still enjoying it and want to support it. Or you could come by on a different stream whenever you can make it. If you contribute, be sure to say, hey, FYI, this is my support for Blueprints because I like the game, just that I couldn't make the night stream. I understand that Blueprints was many day streams, and then I had to turn it into night streams when more new games came out. Excuse me. That's what usually happens. When we play games like that are ongoing and lengthy, and eventually they have to become late night streams. But please, let's get some support going for Blueprints. I like the game. We're so far into the game as well. You know what I'm saying? Like, we are something like, if you do the math, I think we're like 16 to 18 hours in, even though we're only 12 parts in. Some of those parts have been quite lengthy. Like last night, that part was like, I believe it was like an hour and 20, 30 minutes. So please support Blueprints moving forward, especially when I bring it back next week. I'm craving it. Like right now, if I could play it, I would be happy playing it because I like it that much. I want to play it, but I got to keep the variety going, right? Okay. So like I already said, I'm off for the next 2 days. When I come back on Saturday, we're going to continue on with Oblivion Remastered on the first stream. And then it's going to be Black Ops 6 multiplayer returning to the late stream on Saturday night. I know I haven't played Black Ops in a couple of weeks. When I was playing Black Ops, people liked it, but then I was playing it pretty consistently and people got tired of it. It's good when I bring it back from time to time. So we'll be doing Black Ops 6 multiplayer Saturday night, okay? See, I have no idea what's even going on in the game, so I guess we'll find out Saturday night. Sunday, more Clear Obscure Expedition 33, and then on the late stream, more Minecraft Now Java Edition. That's the critical change that we ended up making last week, was going from Bedrock to Java Edition. I'm excited to continue on because all the resources and all the things I want to do are right in front of me, and it's not ultra annoying or difficult like it was with that Bedrock run where they put me in the Badlands. So I'm definitely looking forward to that on Sunday night. Now, as for the rest of the week, it's up in the air. We could be doing this marathon whenever we hit these goals to qualify for it. So it could be as early as possible. It could be later on in the week. I'm not sure. But we're going to have a lot of fun this week coming up, balancing Oblivion with Clair Obscur. There's going to be more blueprints, continuing with Minecraft. Like I said, bringing back Call of Duty. I may have a random night, depending on how the week goes. Maybe we'll do a random indie night where we just have, hey, let's just do a random indie game. Let's take a look and maybe pick one and just try it out and see if it's any good. Because we've done that before, and when we do it, sometimes the game ends up being really good and we play a full playthrough of it. And most of these indie games aren't very long, right? So let's see what happens with that. Another thing that we could actually do is we could do Schedule 1, which I played only during my birthday marathon for like an hour, and then we never went back to it. So we could go back to Schedule 1 and actually play. Okay, so yeah, let's see how it goes. And hopefully you guys will join me for the fun this long, extended week of streaming. 7 straight freaking streaming days. Okay? Boy, it's gonna be tiring, I'm sure. Okay. This is hilarious. So here I am, I'm sitting here, I'm talking about all these topics. Okay? Interesting topics, things about the schedule. The viewers on Kick are saying, your undershirt is too long. I'm talking about how the month went, talking about the awesome games I'll be playing and the games I'm playing now, planning for an awesome marathon. This is what you're thinking about. This is your major focus in life right now, is the length of my undershirt. Do you think maybe there might be something wrong? Do you think perhaps that's not normal human behavior? That you're so obsessed with my undershirt that I'm wearing on the stream? You think perhaps that could be something? There's a word for that. Perhaps there's like a diagnosis for that kind of behavior that maybe would be accurate to describe it, and that perhaps when you hyperfixate on something that's completely pointless and meaningless and trite, but you just can't stop hyper-focusing on it for some weird reason, it's the most important thing to the world to you, even when it's not the focus point of attention and no one else is talking about it, but you just can't help but hyperfixate on something so inconspicuously unimportant in the world? Do you know what I'm talking about? You think there might be a name for something like that? Do you think we can figure it out? Anyway. I am fine with my clothes. In fact, they're very comfy. This is a bamboo shirt. Yes, this is a shirt made mostly from bamboo fibers, which makes it incredibly stretchy, but also incredibly cooling. It's like a wicking shirt. It wicks moisture, but also it just keeps you cool. It's very aerated undershirt. I really like it. This shirt, I used to wear buttoned. The reason that I'm not going to wear it buttoned anymore is because it's got this, it was mismanufactured, basically. This right here is supposed to fold over, so when the shirt's buttoned, it looks good. But look what happens. it just flaps over, and you can't actually get it to not do that. They mismanufactured it. The button actually should have either been lower or that shouldn't have been that long. So basically, whenever I tried to wear this shirt and I would button it, it would look bad because this thing would be flapping over like that, and I can't stop it. You see? So I said, well, I'll just wear it with an undershirt then, right? That's as much thought as I gave to it. It's kind of annoying. It won't button right. I'll just put an undershirt on then. That's fine. Oh no, we're going to hyper fixate on Phil wearing an undershirt and talk about his undershirt being too long. How about stop being fucking obsessive and weird and focusing on nonsense that doesn't matter? No one should care about this. Why are we even talking about it? Anyway, uh, let's continue logically, shall we? Thank you very much. Okay, Chris became a member, and that legitimately is a new membership this morning. So thank you, Chris. Technically, this is our first membership of the day. So let's get Chris on the leaderboard. Thank you, Chris. I appreciate that, Chris. And I'm having problems with my touchpad. Oh, this is not good. What is going on? I can't click it. Wow, I'm having major problems with the touchpad on my keyboard. Not good at all. Okay. Okay. There we go. Jeez. Oh, I've tried everything. Enriel Roy says, "Did you try ironing the flap down?" I tried ironing the shirt. I tried steaming the shirt. I tried some streams. I put a freaking paper clip on the shirt to try to hold it in place. I'm just, it's too much effort for a stupid shirt. I like the shirt, but it's too much effort for a shirt that I'm wearing on a gamer stream. I'm not some kind of a fucking fashion model coming out here. I'm not on Hollywood. I don't have 5,000 paparazzi who are filming me to put me on the front page of Vogue. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to be in a tabloid today. I don't care. So I said, enough of this annoying thing. I'm just going to wear an undershirt on it. I don't give a shit. Okay? But no, I really didn't expect that we would have very, very hyper-focused people over on Kick talking about the length of my undershirt. Ridiculous. Okay. Thanks for a $2 super chat. ADN and Adinand? Adinand. Thank you, Adinand. That's actually our first super chat of the day. Very nice. There you go. Flatman B says, "I'm very concerned that one of your collar edges may not be symmetrical." Well, stop the stream, stop the podcast, stop the world from spinning. We've got to solve this problem. It's the biggest priority of everyone's life right now, right? Game Boy, how you doing today? Good to see you, Game Boy. Excuse me. Whew. Okay. So I pretty much covered the general topics I wanted to cover today. We got two quick news stories to cover. All right. We'll do them real fast because they're not anything that really needs to be too lengthy. Okay. First news story, Lost Soul Aside has been delayed. For those who don't know, Lost Soul Aside is a game that was supposed to come out May 30th. From everything we saw, it kind of looked like Final Fantasy 16. But I couldn't really put my finger on it. I've only seen a little bit of gameplay of it from one of the preview things that we had watched, but it officially got delayed this morning. Some people are upset about this delay, and others are happy, saying, hey, if it means that if it's a 3-month delay and it ends up being a really good game, it's worth it, as opposed to rushing it out now and having this lack of polish and all these problems. So, to be honest, I wasn't that excited for it anyway. I was probably going to try it, but I don't know if it was going to turn into something we liked or not. So, I don't know, but it's delayed. Okay? FYI. The other piece of update here, or I guess news, is kind of interesting. Sea of Stars is getting a free DLC on May 20th. It's called Throes of the Watchmaker, who I guess is a new villain for the cast of Sea of Stars. 8 hours of gameplay, new areas, music, dungeons, mini games, enemies, bosses, and puzzles, new playable classes, as well as a brand new character. And you can do local co-op with 3 players, which we already knew you could do local co-op. So for those of you who like Sea of Stars but haven't played it in a while because, at this point, what, year and a half, 2 years old? Good news for you. For me, I never got to get back to it. If you remember, I was playing it in late 2013, or excuse me, late 2023, early 2024. And then we put it on hold and we just never got back to it. So sadly, for me, it doesn't really matter because it is what it is. I never got back to it. But for those who like the game, good news for you. And it's, by the way, it's free. Should emphasize that. They're actually making expansion content for their game that's completely free. That's pretty awesome. All right. To just offer something free to the consumer who's already bought the game. They're not looking for any extra profits or anything like that. That's pretty cool. Okay. Okay. All right. Well, that's pretty much what I got for today's show. All right. So, first of all, thank you to those who have done early support. I appreciate you. Let's get some more going. Like I said, let's get our first sub. First of all, our first sub on Kick. We don't have a sub on Kick today. We need to get some momentum going. Let's get our first sub over on Kick. Outside of that, anything appreciated. Please, let's get some support today. We need to hit the goal on this stream to get momentum going towards the marathon. Again, the sooner the better. I would love to do the marathon this coming week. Notably as early as possible, maybe during the weekend. That would be great if we could. So let's get it going. And then, of course, please stick around because after the stream, I should say the podcast, it's time for more Expedition 33. And today is major story development in the game. That's what we're focusing on is story. Okay, so I hope you'll stick around for the story stuff. Oh, that is true. Game Boy just called this out. This afternoon, around 2 p.m., there is a Borderlands exclusive state of play. It's regarding Borderlands 4, and I'm not going to cover it live. I'm going to be playing Expedition 33. To be frank, I didn't really like Borderlands 3, and I think Borderlands 4 looked awful. But for the sake of me covering stuff on the show, I probably will talk about this on Saturday's podcast. It'll be broadcast and I'll watch it. Maybe if there's a trailer or there's new gameplay to look at, we'll look at it and talk about it together on Saturday's show. Okay. Thank you so much to CJor. Is CJ Hour 82 or CJor 82? I'm not sure. Just gifted 5 subs over on Kick. Greatly appreciated. CJor or CJ Hour. I don't know how to pronounce your name. You can tell me in chat if you'd like me to pronounce it properly. Our first gifted subs of the day. Great support. That's $25 of support right there, folks. So that propels us right up to $41 of support. Thank you so very much, CJor or CJ Hour. I feel stupid because I don't know how to say your name. Please tell me in the chat so I can stop acting sounding stupid. Okay. Very nice. Now, that's amazing. Who's going to match that? Who's going to match those 5 gifted subs with 5 more? So that way we can keep that momentum rolling, right? There we go. Okay. Let me just take a look quickly at this. People are tipping $1 and $2 to say ridiculous things. All right. I'm not going to entertain the nonsense. I've already told you guys this, right? So, please understand that. Because it looks like we just got $3 in tips, but it's stuff that I'm just not going to address on stream. All right. So thanks for the tips. I'm not answering ridiculous questions. I'm not going on dramatic tangents. Okay. None of this. Okay. And now we got some fake gifted memberships. Let me just get rid of those quickly. There we go. Done. Just like that. Boom. Okay. Good. A few will pop up, but they should stop popping up in just a second. I would expect that this will keep happening over and over the course of the day. Sylvester Stallone, to address this, if you guys, I'm just gonna say this, you guys know, you well know the level of harassment that I get, and you know that I can't talk about stuff that I do outside of this room or on broadcast until it's after the fact, right? So if you say, "Hey Phil, can you tell us all about what you're going to be doing on your days off for the next 2 days?" Already? I have an answer for you. No. I can't tell you about anything I'm going to be doing on my days off for the next couple of days, especially not specifics. Why? Because if I did, weirdo, brainless fucks would probably try to screw with me. I can tell you about what I did on my days off when I come back, but I can't tell you about them ahead of time. So I want you to understand it's nothing personal, right? At all. I hope that Sylvester Stallone understands that. This is not something personal. I'm not trying to blow you off. I'm not trying to insult you or call you a jerk. I actually appreciate your interest in me and my private life and what I do. I just can't safely tell you anything. Let me tell you this. I actually do have quite a few things lined up for the days off because I couldn't, there's certain things you just can't do on like weekends. Even though you try really hard, it just doesn't work out. Okay. So, you know, I I had to take this different time off than usual to do certain things. Um, but I certainly can't tell you. I can tell you later. All right. Exactly. It's oversharing. And when you overshare, especially when you overshare ahead of time and stuff, people try to mess with your life. And, you know, there's nothing you can really do. You got to be careful. I've learned to be careful about this stuff. Okay. So we've covered all the topics that I would like to cover. By the way, again, these are more bunk gifted memberships. So congrats to anyone who's getting them, but sadly, they don't benefit me. Um, Thanks for the early support as well. Let's see what you guys want to talk about. Tag me in chat and let's have some conversation. We got about half an hour to shoot the shit before I get into Expedition 33. When will the game suggestions close up for the marathon? This weekend, probably Saturday-ish, Sunday at the latest. I'll let you guys nominate games for the next few days, and then I'll close it off and do a poll. A poll probably starting on like Sunday. Okay. I'm not canceling members. There's no way to cancel a membership. Once it's gifted, it's gifted. I'm trying to stop these pop-ups from bombarding the stream that aren't legit because these are, this is when you see a pop-up on stream, this is supposed to be a celebration of someone who came, said, "Hey, I want to really support your content." And that's what the pop-up's supposed to be for, giving people credit for their support. It's not supposed to be someone changed their IP address to say they're from Argentina and spent $1 to buy 7,000 fake memberships because they're completely stupid, you know? Okay. So, oh, by the way, let me type into Kick Chat because I guess it's hard to tag me if I don't type in Kick Chat, which is really weird. Um, what is my lighting theme today? So, interestingly enough, all right, the actual lighting theme, I'll show you what it is. This is the actual lighting theme. Ready? So, taking a look at what it looks like behind me right now, you might say, "Oh, that's kind of interesting." It's supposed to be like smoke, like a dramatic cloud of smoke behind you that's kind of moving, like in a little bit of breeze or whatever, like atmospheric smoke. It does look like that, right? It's pretty cool, actually. I like that. But I said I wanted to do something a little bit more creative than that. So basically, you can change colors. And I said, "Hey, why not go on like a rainbow color cycle?" So it's supposed to basically be like, like a changing backdrop of rainbow colored smoke. So I think it looks pretty nice. There you go. What is my favorite memory of streaming? Oh man. For me, like, I don't have, like, very super distinct memories of things during streaming because I stream so much, it's hard to have, like, one moment really just, like, stand out. But, like, for example, I totally remember the premiere night of Grand Theft Auto 5 where I did the unboxing of the collector's edition, and then we booted it up for the first time, and I played a lot that night. I remember I played, like, um, at least 3 or 4 plus hours that release night, and then I was drinking near the end of the night. At the late night part of the stream, I was drinking while we were playing, and that's when we had the moment, the joke about, Franklin breaking into Michael's house and the stupid guy saying, "Oh, he's black," and everyone freaked out at the joke on the stream. So I totally remember that. Um, but, what I remember memorable moments of games. Like, I remember the first time I was playing Bloodborne and we were in the nightmare world, and those giants throw the rocks at you, and I just remember how well I was doing on this one particular run, and then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, an unforeseen rock just landed on my head and squished me, and I reacted, everyone on the stream reacted, and we're like, "Whoa," you know? Those are some of the moments that I remember, from streams from the past. But the thing is, there's other awesome I would just remember streams in general. Like, I remember the Summer of Judgment. Does anyone remember the Summer of Judgment? So when Judgment 1 came out, the fact that this was made by the same guys who had made Yakuza, and it played like that, but it was a completely different plot, completely different kind of vibe of game. And we just really enjoyed the lengthy playthrough I did that summer and having these nice night streams of relaxing and interacting while we were playing the game. And we called it the Summer of Judgment, and we loved it. It was just such a fun vibe, you know? So what I mean, like all these different times, these things that I did on stream, it's not necessarily like, oh, one streaming moment, but it's like an entire, something, a series of things and stuff like that. You know, to some extent, I even remember back in the day before I even streamed, um, some of the late night premieres that I would do. I remember once, this was so weird. I was playing one of the Call of Duties. I couldn't tell you which one it was. I think it was one of the Modern Warfares from back in the day. And I was actually doing a release night stream of the campaign. And all of a sudden, out of nowhere, my desktop PC, which was in my living room where I did my content, right? My desktop PC started randomly playing someone else's stream of the game. I don't even know why. I hadn't been watching any streams of the game. You know what I mean? Like, I think I had YouTube open, but it was probably like my page. So how the holy hell that happened? It was like the most random thing. It scared the shit out of me because it was these guys screaming while they were playing, like, oh, no, no, no," and it played during I was playing. So it picked it up on the camera mic. And we were like, what the fuck? It freaked me out. And the viewers, of course, referenced that later, like, what the hell just happened? So that's what I mean. Like, some random things like that stand out for me from stuff that happened over the years. Do I remember when my Xbox died during Alan Wake? It wasn't the Xbox, the power turned off. The actual power in my neighborhood went out. So I'm playing a game where you're in the woods, and the only way you can see is with a flashlight, and then all my power went out, so I had to pull out a flashlight and actually use it in my condo to see on camera. It was actually awesome. Like, what the hell? The funny part is, that would actually happen again because now I have battery backups on everything. So even if the power were to go out here, my PCs still work. So the lights would go out, like all the stuff behind me would go out and stuff, but some of the lights and things would go out, and then it would still keep recording. So it's funny because I started out that way back in the day with a camera and a battery, and now if the power went out, I would still actually keep recording because of the battery backups that I have in my office. Pretty cool. Kate, I already answered this. Weren't you listening? He said, when do gaming suggestions close? This weekend. This weekend, the suggestions will close. How many games will make it to the final poll? I don't know. I'm trying to remember. I think YouTube at most can only do like 5 options in a poll. So we could do like 2 polls, maybe, and just have people vote in general. I don't know how I'm going to do it yet. It really depends on how many games get nominated and stuff like that. I received a $2 tip, and all it says is gorilla. Okay, gorilla it is, indeed. No, we're not doing the Closet Festival. The Closet Festival was the other option for a marathon, and you guys voted against it. You guys said you wanted viewer's choice. Now, we could still do the Closet Festival, maybe when we hit like 100 goals in another month or so, but we're not doing that now. Right? We're doing stuff in order of what you voted for. So I would like to do the Closet Festival. I think that the Closet Festival is a great idea. It serves a purpose because it'll clean out and sort my closet. It'll be more useful. I'll probably find more things in there for backdrop use and stuff like that, decorations. In fact, I know for a fact somewhere I have a Ryu and Mega Man Legos that I wanted to use for the backdrop, but I don't know where they are. I can't find them, so I need to clean the closet out to find them again. You see? Plus, of course, to see the retirement of the vests and hats would be nice. You guys haven't seen them in a while, right? Oh, I know. The battery backups don't last extra long. I'm well aware of that. The battery backups are only meant to last a few minutes, like maybe like 15 minutes, maybe, so that you have enough time to shut everything down. But that's the good thing. Like, if the power goes out, I have time to properly finish a video, shut everything down. It's good. Cade, thank you for a $5 super chat. It's our second super chat of the day. He says, sorry I missed it. I like polls in brackets with a final face-off tournament style. Would be a fun stream? Can we do that on a weekday though? Well, the polls would be public and they'd be posted on the post page. It wouldn't be a stream poll. It would be actual polls posted on my YouTube page. See, on the where they're posted right now. Right now they're posted on the posts tab of the channel. That's where the polls would go. Okay. So we're at 51 bucks of support, a third of the way to our goal, folks. Thank you for that. Thank you for that momentum. Let's keep that momentum going. Let's hit 100 bucks by the end of the podcast, so that way there's only not that much pressure when we get to Expedition 33. Maybe we can double it up and hit 2 goals today to make up for last night. That would be great. Let's see what happens. Are people getting the new membership badge tomorrow? To my knowledge, no. I think the actual official anniversary, it's sometime, I want to argue it's the first week of May. I could be wrong about that, but I think it's like the 6th or 7th or something like that. Whatever the day was that I was streaming on I was streaming on Twitch, and they erroneously banned me and accused me of saying the N-word, which I have never said. I couldn't believe that they accused me of saying it. And I got so angry at them. And I said, you're so irresponsible to actually suspend a stream before you've even verified that the thing that the person is accused of actually happened. Like, what kind of an unprofessional atmosphere do you have? Who would want to work with you? You know what I'm saying? Like, who would want to do that when you just can't trust this site, that this site is going to be trustworthy, that you're on a whim, you're going to, suspend my whole freaking thing. You're out of your mind. Okay. So I quit, and then I came over to YouTube and I started streaming on YouTube every single day since. So, and I think I'm trying to remember exactly when that was. Maybe I can find out. Hold on. Dumb fucking thing. Okay, hold on. I gotta log in under my other account that doesn't have ads. There we go. Let's see here. Returnal was April 30th, 2021. I started. Oh, here it is. Which bans me for no reason. I've had it. Yeah, here it is. So this was Here it is. May 15th, 2021. May 15th. And the next part. This was May 19th. So May 15th, 2021 was when they unprofessionally banned me for no reason without verifying anything. They realized their mistake and reversed it later that day, but I said, I'm not going back to your site. I'm not going to deal with unprofessional idiots ever again. Okay. Um, so sometime between May 15th and May 19th is when it's going to happen. The 4-year anniversary, the 4-year crowns will start to be seen on YouTube. Emerald crowns. You guys have never seen them before, right? The emerald crowns. They're really awesome. Okay. So by the way, for the record, it looks like I have received a generous contribution, but it got frozen by PayPal. So I want to see quickly if I can actually log into my PayPal and if I can actually see this contribution, because I think I know who it's from based on the email address. And if it is from them, I actually do trust them and I'm going to count it. Give me a second. So here it is. Can I see it? Okay, so I received a $50 tip. I can see it. It got put on hold and I don't know why, but this person has contributed to me many times in the past, so I trust them. All of their payments up to now have cleared. I don't know why this one didn't. Let me see what they have to say. Hey, Phil, I'm very sad to see an end to Disco Elysium, but I completely understand. I hope you continue to play other indie games like Blueprints, another excellent stream. I love your work and thanks again. So there you go. Yeah, I know this person was one of the people who had been consistently supporting Disco Elysium. Consistently, like they were there for almost every stream and they were consistently supporting it. So it sucks they couldn't make it to this last one and we ended up not even doing $50 on the stream. And like I said, no one had showed up. Everyone on the stream was complaining, saying, "Hey, stop playing this game." And that's why we made the decision to stop playing it. Okay? But I agree with them. Like I like these indie style games. I think they're different. I think that they're refreshing. I like playing them. And that's why it's sad when I see less and less people showing up for them, less people engaging, less people supporting them. I do feel like these indie games should get more attention and more support on a streamer like me and my stuff. I just don't get why people won't show up for them. So anyway, 100%, I agree with you. Thank you for a $50 tip. Even though they put it on hold, I'm going to count it because, like I said, this particular person has contributed tons of times before, via streams like Disco Elysium. So I know this is going to clear. I have absolutely no idea why PayPal put it on hold today, but I know it's going to clear. So thank you so much. That's a $50 anonymous tip. And that means we are up to 105 and climbing. Thank you guys so very much for that. And let's keep it going. How about this? Now let's hit the goal by the end of the podcast. That way we could just focus on the game and we can maybe hit a second goal while I'm playing Expedition 33 to make up for last night's Blueprint stream. Okay? Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's get some more support. Let's get some more subs over on Kick. Besides CJ over there, let's get some more. What's up, Toasty Chestnuts? How you doing, man? Do I use game sharing with another person for PlayStation, Xbox, and Nintendo? At one point, I was doing the game share stuff with my wife. Now I don't need to because I play everything on PC. So, I'm not buying console games to game share. Okay. All right, what else do you guys want to talk about? Would I consider playing Fortnite on May 4th? They're having a Star Wars event? No, I don't care about Fortnite. I don't give two shits about Fortnite. If you want to see Fortnite, nominate it for viewers' choice and get people to vote for it, and then we'll play Fortnite. I'm not playing Fortnite on May 4th. All right, Sylvester Stallone, enjoy your ban. I've had enough. Seriously, you're just a fucking idiot. You're just a fucking mouth drooling dunce, and I've had enough of your idiocy. So goodbye and don't come back. Keep your dollars. Ugh. Yeah, I saw that. Paper Mario and the Thousand Year Door is getting a lot of nominations, so maybe we'll finally actually give it a shot. I don't know. If we do, I have to freaking get the Switch back in here. I haven't had the Switch in this room for like a year. Like, when was the last time I played on Switch? So I'd have to get it back in and hooked it back up to my setup and everything. We did look at that. We saw the Nolvis Skyrim mod. We've looked at that before. Okay. Yeah, you guys can cut the shit on Kick. Sylvester Stallone literally on this podcast, first he's asking me for things I'm going to do on my day off, which he knows I can't talk about. Then he's saying, "Oh, did you hear about this thing that could personally hurt Phil?" And by him talking about it, what he's trying to do is get attention for it, which then if it actually could hurt streamers, would hurt streamers. So why would he do that? He's an asshole. He's doing it on purpose. He's literally bringing up every negative thing. So no, he doesn't get forgiveness. He doesn't get his butt kissed. I don't care how many fucking stupid emotes you guys use in chat. He's an asshole. By the way, it's a sock account. If you don't know. Jalen, yes, I see that you've been suggesting Cell Damage, and I think people did nominate that for viewer's choice as well. How many handheld consoles do I own? Switch, I guess, is a handheld console, and I still have my Nintendo 3DS XL, I think, somewhere. I think it's somewhere in the closet, so I guess 2. Yeah, I know. I'm well aware. Kick is full of LARPers, meaning people who are on sock accounts who are already trolls who get banned and they come back with new accounts and they're trying to pretend to be friends and shit. And then all of a sudden, it's funny. The funny part is when all of a sudden they all bring up exactly the same thing at once, as if they're all sitting in the same Discord server talking behind the scenes and then they decide to say it on stream. Kind of weird, no? Shovel Knight is getting a current gen release. Well, I already played Shovel Knight. I don't know why we need a current gen release, like an 8-bit game. Could I even see myself streaming on 3DS again? The problem is I doubt it works. That was all that hardware is outdated by like a decade. I doubt that would it even work with modern Windows with my modern PC. I don't know. I haven't messed with any of it in so long. I don't even have the software for it, so I don't even know how I would do it. I think the company went out of business too. The company that was modding 3DSs to be capturable on PC, I'm pretty sure they went out of business. So I wouldn't be able to contact them for tech support or anything at this point. What's going on, DT101? How you doing, man? Good to see you. Cyrax, probably not. He says, are you going to do a DSP tries it for the returning chicken tenders at McDonald's? Probably not. First of all, we're not doing a DSP tries it next week because the next goal is the marathon, right? After that, we're going to try to look at some new stuff. Now, what haven't I done? Some things we've been talking about recently. I never did Wingstop. I've literally never bought or tasted Wingstop ever. So that could be something interesting to do because it's a first time actual legit trying out. It's not trying a new product, it's just trying something I've never had before to see if I like it. Okay. Um, Wendy's currently has that new chicken sandwich, the new lemonade, and the new frosty. So it's like 3 new things at once. Um, Stuff like that would probably take priority over just getting some chicken tenders from McDonald's. You know, I already had McDonald's with the Minecraft meal. It was not good. I don't really feel like eating McDonald's again. Mildcat911, how are you? Good to see you. Is Wingstop good? Chris says Wingstop is good. And again, I never had anything there. I don't even know what their menu is. I know obviously wings, right? But I don't know what. But I do DSP tries at Hard Liquor. I already talked about that. Gigi, is that how you say your name? Gigi? I know that your super chat's like $1.50, so I'll count that towards the goal. I said that I would do DSP tries at liquor or beer if you guys recommended something for me to get, but we never really agreed to anything, right? We didn't. We never really agreed to anything. So because of that, we never came to a conclusion of what I should do. So again, we could talk about that and we could do that. But the thing is that DSP tries it, I would do at the end of a stream. Not even midday, like end of the night, like the end of a night stream, because that's the end of the night when I don't really have to do anything after I'm done streaming. I don't want to be drunk, But that would be a rarity too. That wouldn't be all the time, okay? Maybe what would be interesting would be like taste testing. Like if you guys had 3 beers to recommend, and I could do a triple taste test of the beers, right? Like compare the 3 and say this one tastes like this one tastes like this one tastes like this, and do a head to head. What do I like out of the 3? Which do I like the most? Something like that. Yeah. We got a LARPer. I got a $5 super chat from a LARPer. Hilarious. Well, thanks, LARPer, for $5. That's all I'm going to say. I'm not even going to read the message because it's stupid. It actually is. Why do people make sock accounts? Well, there's 2 reasons. Okay, there's two reasons to make a sock account for a stream like mine. Reason number 1 is that you're a legit supporter. You're someone who actually likes my content, but you're well aware that people who support me in big ways, like let's say dropping a big member bomb or a big tip, that people tend to kind of come after them and harass them because people are weird on the internet and just obsessed with the fact that I'm successful while they're not, and they're miserable and I'm happy. They can't stand that. So they try to harass people who support me. You see? So by using a sock account to do anonymous donations, like an anonymous tip or dropping 50 subs on Kick, but it's a name no one ever saw before, it protects your identity. No one knows who to associate that with, and who cares if they go harass that account? It's a dummy account they're never using for anything anyway. The other reason to use a sock account is because you're someone who already has been in a chat and banned a bunch of times for acting like an asshole, but you still want to keep coming in acting like an asshole. And a lot of the times these people conjugate with others who are assholes, right? I should say congregate, not conjugate. They congregate with others who are assholes on places like Discord. which is apparently the more and more I learn about Discord, the more I'm like appalled that people use Discord as just like degenerate community of people who are just fucked in the head doing disgusting things. I can't believe some of the things I hear now. Um, so yeah, they sit there in their online communities on Discord, laughing, joking, memeing, disgusting behavior because it's all toxic, negative internet bullying stuff. And then they talk about topics, say, oh, you got to go do this, say this in the stream and do this. And because they're on a sock account, they think that no one knows that it's them. They think that, oh, it's, they'll never figure it out who I am because it's a new account or a sock account, right? Anyway, Zangief says, yeah, after I gifted you last week, people kept following me on Kick and harassing me, but it's not my main account, so I don't care. That's what I mean. That I would strongly recommend anyone who's actually going to support me in some way, you should not have any public facing account that has real information about you. You should protect your identity online. You should always do that. Like just in general, everyone should be doing that anyway. But notably, when you're doing anything positive towards me, understand that there are actually mentally ill people who stalk me and my followers and my viewers and stuff like that, right? So, yeah, it's just a good strategy. Don't open yourself up to online stalking and harassment by using accounts. Like for example, if you have an active YouTube channel that you use all the time for stuff, never use that channel to contribute to me. You know what I'm saying? If you're gonna tip, never tip with your real name. Never tip with an account that's another account online that you want to use, right? Never do that. Make up new names, make up new things, because that's the way to protect your identity. It's just the best way to go about things with these nut jobs on the internet. The Blimp says, as you know, I used to be on YouTube. You also know that I used to send in tips and things like that. I literally had to leave YouTube. My email was linked to an Xbox account, and I had someone email a dude I worked with. Absolute insanity. Think about that. Because someone contributed to me with a YouTube account associated with it. Someone data mined it to the point where they were emailing, harassing people around them. They have nothing to do with anything. But do you see how crazy that is? And that's how these people are. These people are actually insane. When people say to me, no, that's not true. Why would you say that? No, it is. People who are of sound mind do not act like that because people of sound mind realize this is the one life you get on planet Earth. You have a limited amount of time to breathe, to act, to live. You must make the best of the time you have on this planet because it's going to be gone someday. And that's just the human condition. So people who are mature enough to understand that realize, man, I got limited time. I got to use my time for good things, for fun things, for positive things, building others and myself up, making positive things for others. Now, I'm going to spend my entire day harassing, stalking, bringing down others around me. What good does that do? Now it takes away from your life experience, from others' life experiences to make people miserable. When you become a certain age and a certain level of intelligence and maturity, this epiphany happens. This switch flips in your head and you're like, God damn, I got limited time left. I got to make the best of it. The people who act like this, these online crazy harassers, are fucked up here. They're not of any mature level of thought. So to them, actually hurting people on the internet they don't know is a good and valid use of their time because they're just not mature. It's the brain of a pea up here. It's like a fucking, an infant. And some people, sadly, never get that light switch to flick on. They actually stay ignorant their whole lives. They don't get that epiphany level of, oh, shit, I should do something good for a change. And that's pretty sad, isn't it? Because I feel more and more people on this planet are never getting that moment of maturity and epiphany. Instead, it's just they stay in that really fucked up tunnel vision, almost cult-like way of thinking. And what meaning does their life have? Pretty sad, huh? Oh, no, I did not try any alcoholic seltzers, not once. I've never had a single one of this fad of alcoholic sensors or seltzers. I know there's a ton of them now, right? It started with that White Claw, but now there's like hundreds of them. I never had a single one. So maybe that could be something to try for like a taste test. Oh, the reason that I use the term LARPer is very simple. It means live action role player, but it's the perfect way to describe someone who is a troll or an internet messed up person who pretends to actually like me or anyone, but the only reason that they're actually there is to hurt the person or deride the person, right? So here's a perfect example of that. Someone claims that they're a supporter of mine, but then they sit in the chat, and when someone new comes in, they harass the newcomer with, "Hey, did you support today? Why aren't you supporting Phil? Why aren't you sending?" Why would you do that? It's my job to say, "Hey, here's the ways to support my stream. Here's what you can do." By doing that, they're creating a hostile environment. So that person who's a newcomer will actually be like, "Whoa, I don't like this atmosphere," and they leave and never come back. They're actually trying to hurt me, not help me. And they do it on purpose. They know it's against the rules, but they do it anyway. That's a live action role player or LARPer, a pretend fan who's here only to try to hurt me or be a thorn in my side or actually try to give me a downfall when it's never really going to happen. But that's what they're doing. They're being disingenuous with their actual, way that they act and say things. Okay. Is there a Charlie's Philly Steaks in my area? I think there was one at my local mall at one point, but I don't know if they're still there and I've never had it. Exactly. Exactly, Cade. Say, "When was the last time you donated? You want us to support? I've never seen you super chat. Why aren't you contributing? Why aren't you doing this? Why aren't you doing that?" Like, wait, what? Why would you do that to a newcomer? Because you actually want to piss them off or scare them off, and then they never come back. That's why. And that's what these LARPers are doing. Okay. It's time to end the show, everybody. Thanks for a great week. Thanks for a great month. I just want to end this saying it's been a great month. April in general was a really good streaming month. Okay. I had a great time with all of you. It didn't matter if we were just chilling, if we were building Legos, if we were during a crazy birthday marathon, if we were shooting people in Call of Duty, if we were beating people up in RPGs, right? If we were crap, all the stuff we did, talking about WrestleMania, um, and opening packs of cards, right? Like so many things we did over the course of this month, right? It was just a great month in general and an unexpectedly good month because again, on paper, it didn't look like many games were coming out, but then we got shocking releases like Blueprints, Oblivion Remastered that ended up being really good, right? So thank you so much. And like I said, the way I see it is this. If on a month when there's pretty much nothing going on, things can be great, then imagine months coming up with big high profile new releases, new consoles launching, right? Big events happening. I think we're going to have a great time together moving forward for the rest of this year. If anything, what we've seen is because I have the gaming PC, because I have the ability to get and afford anything, the setup, right? We have that flexibility to do whatever. And it's a much better feeling than when I used to be so confined to, I can only play on a certain console. I can only afford a certain thing. It's a very different feeling. It's a great feeling. Thank you for an amazing month. I'm very much looking forward to May. In May, there are several releases like Doom the Dark Ages, the new Capcom collection, among others, that I think are going to be very exciting, but also continuing on with the things we're doing and stuff like that. All good stuff. So thank you guys. I'll see you in May. Thank you for an awesome Level 1 podcast. Remember, again, I'm not here for the next 2 days. When I return on Saturday, I'll get all caught up. We'll probably be talking about Borderlands 4. We'll be talking about any other gaming news. We'll be talking about what I did on my days off and more. Thank you guys so very much. See you Saturday in May with a new backdrop. Peace out.